So I'm going to make another shop update video here. And as you can see in the background, the Corvette has been uncovered for the summer. Well, it's not summer right now, but beginning of spring and summer months. So I've uncovered it and taken it out. But what this video is mainly going to be about is that Dunnage rack for the International truck. I started making it a long time ago, and you would probably go back to other shop updates and find out where I had started it. The continuation of it is over a period of months here. So these videos are spread out over quite a long period of time because it was winter and I really couldn't get any work onto the dunnage rack as far as getting it onto the truck or stuff like that. But so anyways, here we go. And again, it'll be numerous clips over a period of months. So one of the things that I'm going to be doing in the shop is I'm going to tack out the rest of that expanded metal onto the dunnage rack for the International. So I'm going to be welding, and I'm also going to be probably painting in the shop. So what I did is pulled plastic over it. Now it's that painter's plastic, and it's just there to protect any overspray or grinding residue that I might have that when I grind on it to get rust off or get the kind of slag. It's not really slag, but it kind of leaves this powdery residue from MIG welding on it. So you get that off before I paint it. So I just kind of pulled this stuff up over it. I just showed you a short clip of me spot welding it in from the tripod camera. I brought you over here because I just wanted you to see it. What I did is ran some tacks along the outside of it on this side. I had ran a set of tacks down the middle of it a while ago. What I've got to do is this side, but I'm not going to show you any more of it. I'll show it to you when I'm finished and before I paint it. Just a short clip here. I had shown you that plastic that I had put over the car, and I didn't like it because the bottom of the wheels were exposed. So what I did is cut another sheet of it and so overlapped it so that the bottom of the wheels weren't exposed. That overspray gets over everything, so I just would rather be safe than sorry and not get overspray on the bottom of those aluminum wheels. So anyways, that's that. So I'm over to the rack, and as you can see, I've got a coat of paint on it. Now what I did is put Rust-Oleum on the coat, on like an undercoating, kind of as a primer for the urethane. I'm going to go back over it again, get a solid coat of Rust-Oleum on it for the primer coat. Expanded metal is hard to paint. You got to kind of get at it from all sides. I mean, if you sprayed it this way the spray is only going that way, and you're not getting the backside of it. So you got to kind of be diligent with it and try and get it from all sides to get a good coat on it. I again, it's I live in New York. We use salt in the winter time in New York, and it's going to be rusty. So I really want a good coat of paint on it. That's why I'm going to put Rust-Oleum as a primer undercoat and then go over it with the urethane. And then after I'm done with the urethane, I'm actually going to clear coat it too, so to try and protect it. Keep it looking kind of like that. It's going to get banged up, going to be wood thrown in it. So I want as much protection on it as possible. Okay, I'm back over here to the Dunnage rack, and I just wanted to show it to you. I did get the second coat of Rust-Oleum on both sides of it. I just flipped it over this morning, put the second coat on this side of it. What I am going to tell you is that I'm going to put that urethane paint on it, but what I might do in the meantime is bring the truck around and put this up into place where it's going to go, so that I can mark the holes in the frame where it's going to bolt onto it, and then bring this back inside and do the urethane paint coat. And I'm going to put a clear coat over it also. So there's two things that I wanted to explain. One was that I did not get a chance to put that Dunnage rack up and mark the holes on the frame because of the weather. I couldn't bring the truck into the shop fully without having the overhead door partly open and having the weather issues inside of the shop while I was trying to mark the holes. So that didn't work out, and it was months afterwards that you're going to see me putting this on. The other thing I wanted to explain is, you might have noticed I edited those clips of the welding, but you might have noticed that there were some issues with what seemed to be issues with the welder. I wasn't getting good welds, good penetration, and I thought something was wrong with the welder. I went over to the welding store. They told me to bring it in, and they would send it out and have it tested. They did. I took it over there. They sent it out. They had it for a couple of weeks before I shot those clips, or after I shot those clips of the welding. They had it for a couple of weeks. I got it back, and they said there was nothing wrong with it, that they didn't do anything to it, but I brought it back and I started welding with it again, and it started acting normal after that. Not the problems that I had been having before that. So there was a period of time in there where there was nothing being done. And again, these clips were shot over months and months of time. So I just wanted to explain those two things, and I'll bring you back to the video where it was I interrupted it here for this clip. It gives me the opportunity to have the bolt holes marked in the frame of the International, so I can drill them out and take care of that kind of at the same time, or around the same time that I'm putting the urethane and clear coats onto this thing. I'm not sure that if I'm going to be able to get the truck into the shop, depending on the weather. I can get the truck into the shop, but because I haven't gotten the back cleared out yet, I can't get it all the way in because the Corvette's parked in here, and I really don't want to take the Corvette outside when it's nasty weather. So that was the other factor into it. I'm going to have to drill that frame and bolt it up and mark the frame and then bolt it up, depending on what the weather conditions are and where I can get it into the shop. or when I can get it into the shop. I could probably bring the International in here part way and be able to do some work on it, but I won't be able to close the door all the way. I'll have to close it down onto the bed, leaving the bottom of it open. So that's kind of what I wanted to explain to you. But I did get the second coat of Rust-Oleum on. What I'll do is sand it down with 400 before I put the urethane coat on. But again, I'm going to take it out, mark the frame rails on the truck to the bolt holes that I've drilled into the dunnage rack, so that when I get weather opportunity to drill that frame, or whether if I can get it in here and drill the frame, but I can work around it as I'm putting the putting the urethane coat on it. Just a quick shot. I just painted the first coat of that urethane, that automotive single stage urethane onto this. I'm probably getting blown out by that light over there, but let me So what I'll do is tomorrow I'll flip it back over again and paint the other side of it. But anyways, the one side is complete. I'll let that dry for a couple of days and then put a clear coat on it, on top of it. But I just want to protect it because it's going to be mounted up on the frame in front of the tires, but it's still going to get a lot of debris coming off of there. I'm actually thinking about maybe putting like a quarter round fender onto the front of this thing, just to keep the debris from the tires coming up on it, especially like in the winter time. Not much so much as to save the paint, but to keep the ice, snow, and debris out of it and off of the wood also. But anyways, I'll bring you back. Just a quick shot. Yesterday what I did is flip this thing over on the forks of the forklift truck and painted the bottom side of it with that one-step urethane. I got to touch up that rail that goes along the bottom. When I did the bottom of this thing, I forgot to do the bottom of that rail. I'm just going to probably touch that up with Rust-Oleum, let it set. I've got to do some things for the next couple of days, but what I'm going to do is let it set, and then when I come back, what I'll do is give it a coat of clear coat. Give it a coat of clear coat, and then I'll probably, depending on the weather, test fit it up to the truck, mark the holes so that I can get them things drilled into the frame of the truck. There's a couple of spots. Maybe I'll try and get the truck into the shop part way enough so that I can close the door and let the frame warm up a little bit. There's a couple of spots on the frame that have got to be touched up. The paint's got to be touched up on it. So I'd like to be able to get that done. But again, it's winter here now, and it's going to be kind of difficult. Maybe I can get the frame drilled and this thing up, mounted on it, and then touch that up in the spring if I can't get it done this winter. Okay, I'm out here behind the shop, and what I've done is brought the truck around. It's actually warmed up a little bit. It's like 50 degrees, so I brought the truck around, and what I did is brought the dunnage rack over with a forklift, got it up in place, and marked out the holes. You can see a couple of them, the white paint dots there. That's what I'm drilling right now. I've already drilled 2 of them right there, working on the center 4 and then do the end 2. It's been a long time since I've made a video about the dunnage rack, but I probably explained it earlier in this, when I put this video together. I will explain it in the beginning and then show you some finishing up on building that dunnage rack. But here I am. It's been a long time, But again, here I am being able to drill out the frame rails. It's a little hard. It's a double frame on this truck. And what happens is you get through the first rail and you've got to pull the drill back off again to get the slug back out of there, because the slug, it's hard to drill through because the slug will break off on the outer edges first, leaving a little bit of the inner edge, so you can't really drill the second frame rail without getting that slug out, because that slug kind of shields the drill bit from drilling the second one. So you've got to take the drill out, pull it out of the hole, get that slug out, and then reposition it back into the hole again, the drill that is, reposition it back into the hole again, and drill the second frame rail. But anyways, I'll bring you back after it's done. Maybe I can shoot a video of me putting it up in place. There's one of the slugs out of the drill, and that's what I was talking about. See, the way it cuts it off, that thing just would rotate in there like that inside of the annular cutter. It would just rotate in there, wouldn't allow you to drill the second part of the frame. That's how thick the each frame rail is. Bring it back. Mag drill. So there's a mag drill sitting there. I'm not going to I didn't show drilling any of it, but that did a fantastic job. There's the name of it right there. I'm not sponsored by it. Again, as any of you that follow my channel, I'm not sponsored by anybody. Lucky I even get on YouTube. There's the end holes finished, center holes 4, and then the 2 end holes are right there. Now, I'm not going to put it up today. Here's all the tailings from drilling. I'm not going to put it up today. What I'm going to do is get a sander, and there's a spot right here where I've got a little, again, this truck frame is in excellent shape. It's a 2008, and I've got to tell you, it wouldn't look anything like this if it had come from New York to begin with, because of the salt that we use on the roads here. But anyways, I'm going to get a sander. There's a couple of spots that I want to touch up. That's where a bracket for the original exhaust came off of. That was a bracket also for it. And then there's that bubbling of the paint right there on the frame. I'll get a sander, go through, and I'm just going to rattle can those things black. The other thing that I'll do is I'll take a rag, wipe this down. Maybe I'll get some lacquer thinner or something, get the oil off, the cutting oil off, wipe them down, and try and spray a little paint inside of the holes so that that bare metal has got some kind of a protective coating on it. The bare metal where the bit went through the frame rails. But anyways, I'll bring just a brief shot of this. I went through with a rattle can and sprayed that frame. It's still a little tacky, so again, I'm not going to put it up today. I will put it up tomorrow though. Yeah, even though it looks still bubbled, I went through with a sander. There's just a little pitting because of the rust that was there. But anyways, I'll put it up tomorrow. So it's the following day from when I shot those clips about drilling the holes and sanding it down and painting it. And as you can see, it's raining. It's chilly. It's like 45 degrees and it's a damp cold. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to being able to put the Dunnage rack on today because of that. I mean, you know, if I don't have to do it in the damp rain, damp rain, rain and cold, I probably won't. But if it clears up, which it could I mean, out there in the distance, you can see that it looks like the clouds are breaking up. So maybe it'll change and it'll warm up a little bit, and I can get to it this afternoon. But right now, I'm gonna put it off for a while. Okay, even though it's raining, I came out and put it on. I figured as long as I was at it, might as well finish it, and I wasn't going to get that wet. Now, I've got to come back and I'll paint the bolts and stuff that go through there, get on the backside, paint them, and touch this up where, again, it's been months since I did this. It's been laying around and gotten pulled around, relocated. But anyways, on the truck now. I'll wait for the price of wood to come down before I get 4x4s for it. But anyways, done. Okay, that's going to do it for this shop update. I'm showing you the back of the Corvette. Because I added these things to it, but that'll be a topic for another shop update. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe.